In the midst of a raging struggle, a plane evacuating a set of schoolboys from Britain is shot down over a deserted tropical island. Of the lads, Ralph and Piggy find out a conch shell at the seaside, and Piggy realizes it is able to be used as a horn to summon the other boys. Once assembled, the men set about electing a pacificator and devising a manner to be rescued. They pick out Ralph as their leader, and Ralph appoints some other boy, Jack, to be in price of the lads who will hunt meals for the whole group. Ralph, Jack, and another boy, Simon, spark off on an expedition to discover the island. Once they go back, Ralph declares that they must mine the signal hearth to attract the attention of passing ships. The men achieve igniting some useless timber by way of focusing daylight via the lenses of Piggy's eyeglasses. However, the men pay extra attention to playing than to monitoring the fire, and the flames quick engulf the woodland. A massive swath of lifeless timber burns out of control, and one of the youngest boys within the organization disappears, possibly having burned to loss of life. In the beginning, the boys enjoy their life with outgrown US and spend a whole lot in their time splashing within the water and playing games. Ralph, however, complains that they ought to be retaining the signal hearth and constructing huts for refuge. The hunters fail in their try and seize a wild pig, but their leader, Jack, will become more and more preoccupied with the act of hunting. Whilst a ship passes via on the horizon in the future, Ralph and Piggy notice, to their horror, that the signal fire, which had been the hunter's obligation to hold, has burned out. Livid, Ralph accosts Jack, however the hunter has simply lowered back along with his first kill, and all the hunters seem gripped with an extraordinary frenzy, reenacting the chase in a form of wild dance. Piggy criticizes Jack, who hits Piggy throughout the face. Ralph blows the conch shell and reprimands the lads in a speech supposed to restore order. On the meeting, it quick becomes clear that some of the men have begun to emerge as afraid. The littlest boys, referred to as Litlins, had been troubled with the aid of nightmares from the start, and increasingly more boys now believe that there is some kind of beast or monster lurking on the island. The older boys attempt to persuade the others on the meeting to assume rationally, asking in which the sort of monster should likely cover during the daylight hours. One of the Litlins indicates that it hides within the sea, a proposition that terrifies the entire group. No longer long after the meeting, some Navy planes have interaction in a war excessive above the island. The lads, asleep beneath, do now not word the flashing lighting fixtures and explosions in the clouds. A parachutist drifts to earth at the Sign Fireplace Mountain, dead. Sam and Eric, the twins answerable for watching the hearth at night time, are asleep and do no longer see the parachutist land. When the twins wake up, they see the sizable silhouette of his parachute and hear the odd flapping noises it makes. Thinking the island beast is at hand, they rush back to the camp in terror and record that the beast has attacked them. The lads arrange a looking expedition to look for the monster. Jack and Ralph, who are more and more at odds, tour up the mountain. They see the silhouette of the parachute from a distance and think that it looks like a huge, deformed ape. The institution holds an assembly at which Jack and Ralph inform the others of the sighting. Jack says that Ralph is a coward and that he should be eliminated from workplace. However, the different boys refuse to vote Ralph out of strength. Jack angrily runs away down the beach, calling all the hunters to sign up for him. Ralph rallies the last boys to build a new sign fire, this time at the seashore in preference to at the mountain. They obey. However, earlier than they've completed the venture, most of them have slipped away to join Jack. Jack broadcasts himself the leader of the new tribe of hunters and organizes a hunt and a violent, ritual slaughter of a sow to solemnize the occasion. The hunters then decapitate the sow and area its head on a sharpened stake inside the jungle as in providing to the beast. Later, encountering the bloody, fly-blanketed head, Simon has a horrible imaginative and prescient, all through which it appears to him that the head is speaking. The voice, which he imagines as belonging to the Lord of the Flies, says that Simon will by no means break out him, for he exists within all guys. Simon faints. Whilst he wakes up, he goes to the mountain, where he sees the dead parachutist. Know how then that the beast does now not exist externally, however instead within every man or woman, boy. Simon travels to the beach to tell the others what he has visible. But the others are in the midst of a chaotic revelry. Even Ralph and Piggy have joined Jack's banquet, and once they see Simon's shadowy determined emerge from the jungle, they fall upon him and kill him with their naked palms and teeth. The following morning, Ralph and Piggy discuss what they have carried out. Jack's hunters assault them, and their few fans and scouts borrow Piggy's glasses inside the method. Ralph's group travels to Jack's stronghold and try to make Jack see motive, but Jack orders Sam and Eric tied up in fights with Ralph. In the resulting conflict, one boy, Roger, rolls a boulder down the mountain, killing Piggy and shattering the conch shell. Ralph slightly manages to break out a torrent of spears. Ralph hides for the rest of the nighttime and tomorrow, whilst the others hunt him like an animal. Jack has the alternative boys ignite the woodland as a way to smoke Ralph out of his hiding region. Ralph remains inside the woodland, where he discovers and destroys the So's head, but eventually, he's pressured out onto the beach, in which he is aware of the other boys will soon arrive to kill him. Ralph collapses in exhaustion, however whilst he looks up, he sees a British naval officer standing over him. The officers deliver observed the fireplace raging in the jungle. The opposite boys reach the seashore and stop of their tracks on the sight of the officer. Amazed on the spectacle of this institution of bloodthirsty, savage children, the officer asks Ralph to give an explanation for. Ralph is crushed with the aid of the understanding that he is safe. However, considering what has came about at the island, he starts off evolved to weep. The other boys begin to sob as properly. The officer turns his back so that the boys may additionally regain their composure.